Hey, how are you there,
I'm
Diane?
good. I'm good. I've never had the note taker be the one to greet me. How are
I've
you,
trained
Paul?
I've trained it well.
You're already recording on my end.
What's that?
It
I'm up.
says you're already recording on my end.
Oh, really? Okay. I just paused it up here, so anyway, Diane, tell me about what you do.
So, Paul, what I do is bring together custom protocols for people to get rid of the pills, poisons, and parasites out of their body. We have over 68% of America that's carrying around at least one chronic disease.
Hmm.
And Big Pharma is keeping us in the belief system that they have a pill that will fix it. But every pill they give offers another symptom. And every symptom that arises has the offering of another pill. I call it the SMS cycle. Symptom med, symptom med, symptom med. Don't you wish you would have invested in pill boxes 30 years ago? I, you know. So my personal story, what got me into this was 4 years ago. My 42-year-old daughter called and said, "I don't want to live anymore." She was on 26 meds a day. She was under doctor's orders, and there was nothing that was changing. She wasn't getting better. She was addicted to opioids at that time.
Hmm.
It was a complete, utter disaster. She hadn't been able to work for 6 years, so emotionally and mentally, she just kept going down, down, down. That's in addition to physically. So I literally got on my knees and asked for help. And that afternoon, I got a call about a cellular product called ASEA, ASEA, that repairs and replaces cells. And once we started on that process of taking note of our metabolic health instead of just our symptoms from our physical health, and started repairing and replacing those cells, all kinds of things started changing for her and for me. I took the journey with her. Mainly inflammation is what started for both of us first, because you know how inflammation causes all kinds of problems. And about 18 months into the journey, when she had gotten off the opioids, she was moving more freely. She didn't have the joint pain that was causing the dependency on opioids that weren't doing anything for her. She started coming off of her antidepressants.
Hmm.
They weren't even dissolving in her body. We were able to prove that. Then I started asking the question, well, Paul, what causes the inflammation in the first place? And that is heavy metals, chemicals, and parasites. So I started going down that path and tried different things, and then ran into another company that has non-toxic products that kill living pathogens, which is your parasites, your mold, your fungus, and takes out the non-living pathogens, which is the heavy metals, chemicals, noxious fumes.
Hmm.
And then between, 3 years later, I can tell you, yeah, it was a long process, but she'd been, ill for a very long time. And at age 7, she had migraines. So she'd been carrying some of these bugs since birth. So, bottom line is today, she's on zero medications. She's gainfully employed, has her brain back. She is just fun to be around again. And this is the same girl that, just 3 years ago said, "Mom, I just can't do this anymore. I just don't want to be here."
Hmm. Wow. So,
So it's not just a little bit of a threat, it's a huge threat with what we have, the levels of toxicity in our bodies. And living in America, you cannot get a tomato that tastes like, or tomato, do they say tomato in, in New York? You cannot get one that tastes like it does in Italy. And that's a lot of it is because of the different chemicals that are sprayed on our produce that they don't allow in Europe. So it's the air we breathe, it's the water we drink, it's the food we eat. I was a huge sushi eater, loved my Friday night
Oh, you're
sushi.
mentioning my favorite meals.
Uh, Let me tell you something. This will just 10,000 parasitical eggs per square inch of sushi. 10,000. So
Commercial fish that like tuna and whatever else they have. Yep.
anything raw, when it's raw, it's full of parasitical eggs. Now, not all of them will stay in your body, but that's enough to, even if 10% of them stay in your body, that over the years they start building up.
Mm.
And they're going to go to your weak spot. And for me, it was my lungs. And for my daughter, it was her gut and her brain. And so we had very different kinds of parasites. Hers were more the intracellular parasites that lodge in the brain, and mine were the actual nematodes, which are the worms that resided in my lungs, causing asthma, allergies, walking pneumonia, those kinds of things. So it was quite the journey. So for the last 4 years, that's what I've been doing, is to help people understand. And usually we start with, what medications are you on? Here's the ingredients, here's the side effects. And so many people have complained in my initial visit with them about certain side effects. I always get a sore throat. I always have a runny nose. I always have a rash on my left hip. I always have this. I always have that. And I can show them where it's coming from, the medication. Now
Wow.
yeah, now I'm not a doctor, Paul. I'm not. I don't pretend to be. So really is important when you start coming off medications to be under, you know, a doctor's watch so that we can get the tests showing, because not every pill can you just cold turkey it. My daughter was able to
Right.
cold turkey ADHD medication, Adderall. Adderall has 3 street methamphetamines in it.
Wow.
She was just furious, furious. And she did that cold turkey, but it was a rough 3 days. Something like high blood pressure, heart medications, those we want to really have a lot of tests involved as we start backing down the medication. And the doctors will tell you if it's okay for you to back off based on the results of those tests. So I don't pretend to be the author of, you know stopping this one and cutting this one in half, but when I show people the results of these things, it's really phenomenal. And I'll just end with this, Paul. There's only three
Well, I
ways.
got a lot of questions, so you're
Okay.
not
Okay.
ending.
Okay. There's only 3 ways to get sick. One is called living pathogens. That would be your mold, your fungus, and your parasites. Number 2 is your non-living pathogens. And that would be your heavy metals, your chemicals, your noxious fumes. And those heavy metals come from tooth fillings, from vaccines, from,
Hmm.
you know, there's all kinds of metals in the water we drink, for heaven's sake. And then the third is EMF signals, electromagnetic fields, our blue screens, our TVs, our phones, walk outside and you have those towers above you, that's the third way.
I could point
So,
over here,
mm,
150 feet away from me. I have the huge electrical lines going right down my block. So
yeah,
every so often, my wife's real sensitive to it. Sometimes when they're really pumping out a lot of wattage,
yeah,
uh, she gets tingling all over her body. She doesn't, and I'm like, it's because we're living right next to an EFM source, yeah, EMF source here. So,
get her some copper bracelets. That will
oh,
help. Get her some copper bracelets. But once you get those things, that toxicity out of your system, then the symptoms, you don't have them anymore. But you have to also be putting in the right stuff. You can't be eating sugar. Parasites love, love, love sugar.
Oh,
And you can't be eating processed foods, and some of the things that we love so much that are highly toxic is um meats, the lunch meats, and
oh,
yeah, the pastrami's and things. If they're not fresh cut, then you shouldn't be eating those. Anything in a package with a shelf life, look at the ingredients. If you can't say it, if you can't say the ingredient, you
I
should probably not be putting it in your mouth.
I'm when I first started going on this journey of getting the toxins out of my body, I was going down the grocery aisle, turning the box around, and I'd see something I can't pronounce, and I would Google it right there, and I'd say, what are the side? And I couldn't believe some of the stuff that oh yeah, it's only small doses, but yeah, if I have it a couple of times a week, it all builds up, and I
That's
was
right.
seeing could cause lung cancer, stuff like that. I'm like, really? I'm not eating that anymore.
Right.
It's
And
amazing.
you can't find a packaged food that doesn't have sugar in it.
Yeah. Corn syrup, I hear, is the worst.
The
Cor
worst. And seed oils. Seed
Seed oil.
oils are horrible for you.
Eh,
So the only oil you should be having is extra virgin olive oil, avocado oil, and coconut oil.
Do you believe in
Those.
like just one of the stores that I get organic extra virgin olive oil. Doesn't matter whether it's organic or not.
So, that one's a little bit harder to tell because organic has been so overused, and I want to believe that. But like, for example, in the valley I live in, if you call yourself an organic farmer, there's so much chemicals being sprayed everywhere else that your organic backyard farm is going to get some of that.
Yeah.
So it's hard to say.
I feel
I'll
like
tell
it
you.
I feel like it's an excuse for them to charge an extra 25%.
Exactly. And
Yeah.
that's oftentimes what it is. When it comes to fruits and vegetables, if I don't eat the peeling, then I'm less concerned about it being organic. But if it's grapes and strawberries, and those things are the worst for parasites anyway, especially strawberries because they're easy for the parasite to get in through their little dimples. Um, yeah, so I'm careful about organic, but I'm not obsessed with organic.
That's where I've come to.
Mhm.
At first, I was like everything organic, or I'm not eating. And then I realized, then I started saying, wait a minute, what's really different here? And I started
Right.
saying, why is it like why a loaf of bread, the GMO kind, the white bread or the wheat bread that we get,
Right.
why is that $1.50? I don't know what it is, maybe $1.50, and the organics $3.50. Is it
And
really that? Are they really doing that much to make it safe? I guess.
well,
Yeah,
in that case with bread, the wheat should not be sprayed with the chemicals if it's organic. And that's when you have to actually do the research on the uh where the flour is coming from, and they don't make that easy to
yeah.
determine that.
So
Yeah.
the question I had is, so you help people also change their diet around so that they're eating the right foods. That
Right.
and what was the name of that first cell thing you talked about? What could you say that name again?
Yeah, it's called ASEA, AS
Casilla. Okay.
ASEA Redox. And ASEA Redox is a brilliant product. The founder of this company admitted and did it regularly that without the divine hand of God involved, they would have not cracked the code to create these cell signaling molecules that are the essence of life themselves. And, Paul, we can go 30 days without food, 3 days without water, 3 minutes without air, but we can't go 3 seconds without cell signaling molecules.
Hmm.
And they're made in the mitochondria of every cell in our body. Some cells have multiple mitochondria making these cell signaling fleeting bits of energy. And this product is bioidentical to the way the body makes the cell signaling molecules. So it uses the same ingredients, salt and water, that the body uses
Hmm.
to make cell signaling. And the difference is not how it's made or what it uses to make it, but that it has a shelf life. And so when we give this product to our body, the body says, whoa, I know what to do with that because I already make it. And so just our age alone, we lower the capacity of that production plant to make those molecules. And you add stress, trauma, and disease to that, and now you've really got a lowered production capability. So at 70 years old, I have lost over 60% of my capability of making those cell signaling molecules. And because I take this every day, a year and a half ago, I painted the entire outside of my house by myself. People thought I was crazy. I was up on ladders. I was doing, I mean, it's people say, well, I'm 60. These aches and pains come with age. No,
That's a
time
lie.
out.
Yeah.
No, it's what we eat and it's how we do it. You know, how we manage our daily life with even with the ointments, even with the makeups, even with the soaps that we use, you know, all of
Yeah.
these
Yeah,
things matter.
let me just ask you a quick question. You mentioned non-toxic products. So
Yes.
what's that all about?
So ASEA is a non-toxic product
Oh, okay.
that will help you
Do they have food?
start,
Do they have food and snacks and stuff like that?
say again,
Do they have food and snacks, things like that?
that are non-toxic.
Yeah, what kind of product? That's I guess what is their it's not just something to drink. They got food also too, right?
Oh, ASEA has a few vitamins. And,
Oh,
you know, they have what's called a multivitamin called Source. They have an omega. They have a biome for the gut, which is just tremendous. And then they have a max, which is really great for athletes. Just the four. We also have some high performance powders, one for the brain, one for energy, and one for sleeping. And so this is, if you can think about the energetic molecules that address all 88 keys on the piano,
mhm.
then the three powder packs that I just talked about, energy, mind, and mood, are maybe four or five keys on the piano because the mind goes directly to the brain, right?
Right,
In the parts that you use for logical thinking, reasoning, those kinds of things. Where the mood will address the adrenaline issues and the nervous system. And the energy is just, you know, doing its thing. Um, Somewhat like caffeine, but without the high low. It's
right.
more of a so those, and then it has a facial or a skincare line. So those are the four areas that we address with the cell signaling. Because the skin being the largest organ on in the body, I mean, we really have to. I've been using the what's called Renew 28 on my face and my neck every day for several years now, and I've had moles just fall right off my face, you
Mm.
know. So it's just, it's really quality products. But then the other products I use kill the living pathogens and the non-living pathogens, and they come from a different company called Avini. But with, you know, Avini Health,
AVINA.
AVINI, Avini Health.
And what is that
And
for? What does that provide?
and that gives me a product called Nano Silver to kill the living pathogens, and Cell Defender, which gets all the heavy metals and chemicals out. But what's really important with these things, Paul, is not just using them, but having the right protocol based on where you are in your journey. Because when you dump a load of dead parasites on an already compromised body, you can get really sick if you don't have enough cell signaling going on and you don't have enough knowledge about the right foods and the intake of water, etc., that you should be taking when you're doing these things. So it's really important to have the protocol to go with it.
Now, how do you get that protocol?
From me, of course.
Oh,
Yeah, from
do you
me.
have a website that you could put in the chat?
Yes. So it's two different websites, of course.
Oh, let me ask one other question before I forget. Do
Mm-hmm.
you recommend going to a doctor and getting a blood test or whatever test to find out exactly where your body is at, and then provide that to you, I guess, to see what's missing or what's
Yeah,
affected?
so I love that. I love that when I can get that. And I also naturopaths, functional medicine people, they will run scans. And the scans oftentimes an AO scan or an energy scan will give me all kinds of information about parasites.
Nature's Path, you said that, or Nature Path?
Naturopath, the doctor, there's
Oh,
many
naturopath.
people.
Yeah, natural.
Naturopath. Okay.
What do
Okay.
where do I find those? They'll scan my whole body, tell me where what's lacking or what needs help.
Yeah, you'll have to research your area.
Yeah,
You
because
you know,
I wouldn't want to go to my general practitioner, because they're gonna look at me and gonna say, and they're gonna try to uh, medicate the crap out of me, and I
of
feel fine.
course.
I'm good, but I know there's certain things that if I go there, they're gonna say, oh, we could fix this, and it's just gonna make it worse.
Yeah, and if you have, particular issues that you know are kind of uh, flaring up, because 60% of a disease has already manifested before you have symptoms. That's the scary part that people don't understand is they may feel fine right now, but they may have something brewing as well. So here's my card that has both my Avini and my ASEA
Oh, this is
links.
your okay, its own personal website. All right, cool.
Yeah, yeah.
So it
And
has
that
a V. Okay, cool.
it has, excuse me, it has both of them on there, and it's all the information of how to get hold of me as well. But I was gonna real quick change my background. It's pretty early on my side of the world, so I hadn't done this yet before I jumped on with you. This is um
Oh,
this is when
that's what you had
yes,
when we
when
were
we
at.
met.
Yeah.
Mhm. So this is the book that I co-authored called Let It. The body can heal itself given the proper environment. And this book really helps kind of people get their feet on the ground to get started on this journey if it's a new journey for them. We talk about the physical, the mental, the emotional, and the spiritual health of an individual as they're walking through this and why it's so important. And it gives you things to really consider and kind of encourages journaling through it because a lot of people, I'm telling you, Paul, if they're over 45 and they've never been on a parasite cleanse, they need to be. I mean, they absolutely need to be. And we pass through the womb, we pass parasites without even knowing it. So, a huge percentage of newborn babies are born with toxic blood. It's huge.
Yeah, I did a study on pork, and
Mm,
I found out that you could have the cleanest pig in the world, give them the best grain that they have, that not let them eat any mud or garbage or cans or anything like that, and their body naturally produces highly toxic chemicals. I also was reading an article about pork brain. Ever hear about that? Pork
Mm-mm, I
brain.
didn't.
It's people who are really eat a lot of pork wind up getting these worms in their brain from the pork. So I said, as much as I love spare ribs, I'm not having them anymore. You know?
Yeah, get the beef ribs. Yeah,
Yeah.
them pork is the dirtiest animal, and unless you raise a pig like a dog, you can't keep their snout out of the dirt.
No, you can't. It's just what they do.
It's what they do.
But they said
It's
their
who they are.
biology, even if you keep them out of the dirt, their biology is just so geared towards massive toxicity. And like I
Yeah.
said, I love sparrows, but I don't love them that much.
And that was me with sushi. I love sushi, but it took me years to cough up all the worms in my lungs. It took forever.
Wow.
Yeah,
I
it
wonder
was
what I got in my lower intestines.
well, and there you go. If you have a gut problem, you have a brain problem.
Yeah.
So you may get tired and sluggish early in the day. You may have trouble sleeping. There's lots of things that, happen when you have gut brain problems. They're just, they need to go. They need to go.
Man. Well, listen, it was great talking to you. We should schedule another time to talk some more, maybe sometime next week. Send me out
Okay.
a couple of dates, but it was great getting to know you here, and I appreciate you. All the information you gave is very, very insightful. That what you gave, you confirmed a lot of things that I've been looking into. But so
Well,
thanks, Diane.
I'm right here, happy to help. And it's a